My opinion of the characters did change in Brimstone, and not necessarily for the better, you guys. There's just some things I cannot get past, even in a work of fiction, and she definitely did that in this book, and it immediately just kind of closed me off to the story, and I thought, okay, no. So I finally just finished reading Brimstone by Callie Hart. That is book number 2 of Fae Alchemy. It follows Quicksilver. It took me about 3 months. And there's a reason why, and I will tell you. We're here today for a spoiler-free review on book number 2 of Fae Alchemy in the event that you haven't had a chance to read it, because this is still a relatively new book. This was released in November of 2025, so it's about 3 months old, so you may not have gotten around to it yet. So if that is the case, this is the video for you. I will not be diving into any spoilers in this particular video, but I do plan on publishing a spoiler review video in the very, very near future. Once I have that uploaded to my channel, I will add that below in the description box. But for the purposes of this video, I don't want to spoil anything for any of you readers who are about to dive into Brimstone. This video is really for those of you who are curious about my overall thoughts and reaction to Brimstone without any spoilers. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit subscribe. I'd love to connect with you other readers out there, because there's a lot to talk about regardless of what genre you tend to prefer. This particular series, this is called romantasy. I'm sure you're familiar with that term by now. That has kind of taken the bookish world by storm, as everything is romantasy. Every book that's in right now seems to be romantasy. Anyways, this book, Brimstone, it follows the events, of course, that occur in Quicksilver. It's a love story that follows our main character, Ceres Fane, who ends up falling in love with Kingfisher, who is a Fae warrior, sexy dude. I'm not even going to talk about the events of book 1 either. In the event you haven't read the first book is really good. I really enjoyed the first book. I gave Quicksilver 5 stars. Guys, Brimstone, God, I have so many mixed feelings on. Let's just start with my overall star rating. I gave this 4 stars, and I really had to think long and hard about that rating because I enjoyed the bulk of the middle section. Okay, here's my journey with Brimstone. I started it when I first received it in November. I was super excited. I got 50 pages in, and I just simply wasn't feeling it. I wasn't sure if it was because I was feeling so detached from the story by this time, because I had read Quicksilver months and months and months ago, almost a year before diving into Brimstone. And I thought, well, maybe time has just done its thing and it's kind of dwindled my enthusiasm for the story. But I think also I contributed my disinterest because I was reading a longer urban fantasy series, Dresden Files, that I was super into at the time, and I was like, I just don't have room in my mind for Brimstone right now. So I shelved it for months and many months, and I did not think about it. I really had no eagerness to return to it after getting 50 pages in. But after I finished my Dresden Files journey, I finished the latest book in the series. I thought, you know what? Before I throw in the towel, before I DNF it, let's just give it another shot and just see if I feel differently about it. We'll see. So I resumed my reading journey, and then within 2 weeks, I finished it. I really, really, again, enjoyed the middle section of this book. I really found that it dragged in the beginning, and then I absolutely hated the end. We'll get to that in a minute. In my humble opinion, I think Brimstone was a little too long for my liking. My copy of this hardback is 660 pages. I think Callie Hart could have trimmed that down to around 500 pages and still told the story in a very compelling way that wouldn't feel like it was lacking anything. That's my personal opinion. It was just a little too long. So when I think about the 2 books, I definitely liked Quicksilver more. I awarded Quicksilver 5 stars. I could not give Brimstone 5 stars, just considering my overall journey with the story. And there were so many things that annoyed me in this book. If you want to know more about what frustrated me in this book, check out my spoiler review video once that comes out on my channel, because I have a lot to say. I have a lot of complaints. I have a lot of notes, while also acknowledging that I really enjoyed this book. I did enjoy it, okay? That doesn't mean it was perfect. That doesn't mean I'd ever read it again, because I can guarantee you I will not. I feel like I cannot talk about Brimstone without acknowledging the several complaints that I've heard from other booktubers, bookstagrammers, book talkers who have complained about the editing in Brimstone. A lot of readers picked up on a lot of errors, and I will admit, you guys, when I am reading and if I'm immersed properly, I don't notice any issues with editing. I did notice a couple in here, but it was not enough to impact my overall enjoyment. I forgave it. There were silly things like missing a period and certain things like that, super minor. Although there was one section, I actually tabbed it because I don't know what Callie Hart meant. She refers to a specific character who she clearly was mistaken, because that character was like not there, not present in that location at that time. So anyways, if you're curious about that, I do mention that in my spoiler review video, but just minor mistakes. Again, it wasn't enough to ruin my enjoyability of the book, but for some of you guys, I know that was the case. I know some of you had to DNF it simply because you just could not deal with all the mistakes. And if that's the case, if you DNF'd Brimstone, but you still want to know how it ends, I do plan on releasing a summary video or a recap video of Brimstone, so please go check that out when it becomes available. It should be up within the next couple of weeks, I hope. And so go check that out in case you want to know how it all ended, if you were not able to stand it a second longer. My opinion of the characters did change in Brimstone, and not necessarily for the better, you guys. Again, I'm not going to dive into that. You can check out my spoiler review video if you want to know more about that, but I will say I enjoyed the characters more in Quicksilver, and then they kind of took a turn with Brimstone. So I will just say I did not fall in love as thoroughly with the characters this time around, even though I was already invested in them and I knew and loved who they were. People change, and I don't know if I like this version of these characters as much. Will I still read Fae Alchemy No. 3? Absolutely. It comes out this year, this November, so I will be reading it. I don't know how long it'll take me. If it's like this one, it'll take me months and months, but I do plan on reading it because at this point, why not? I will say, with all due respect to Callie Hart and her storytelling and her writing, because I love the chick, let's be honest, I loved her when I read Quicksilver, but she did commit one of my biggest pet peeves in romantasy, in fantasy, you know what, just in fiction in general. I really hate that she did a certain something, and again, I'm sorry I can't talk about it, so if you're curious about that after you read the book, go check out my spoiler review video. But there's just some things I cannot get past, even in a work of fiction, and she definitely did that in this book, and it immediately just kind of closed me off to the story, and I thought, okay, no. It just drives me nuts when authors do this. I know I'm talking about this book as if I didn't like it. I did, and there's a reason I gave it 4 stars and not something less, because the whole middle chunk I really, really liked. I would just say that I really didn't like the first 50 pages, and I really didn't like the last 50 pages, but everything that happened in between, it was great. It was fun. It was not perfect, but it was a good ride. I will say that the spice in this book, it was pretty good. It was good. I can't remember, you guys. I can't really compare it to the spice level in book number 1. I feel like she kind of took it down a little teeny tiny notch, but there's still a lot of spice. It's really well done. I would say that it's tasteful, and it's not overwhelming. It's just, it was good. It was a good time. I fear that I'm already at the end of this spoiler-free review video because I really can't talk to you about much if I'm going to avoid spoilers. All I can tell you is that I gave it 4 stars. Is it worth reading? I don't know. I will leave that up to you. If you liked Quicksilver, then I think it's worth a shot. I would not go into it with the expectation of enjoying it more. I definitely enjoyed it less, but that's a personal opinion. Everyone is entitled to your own opinion. So please give it a shot. Just see how you feel about it. These were my personal feelings on Brimstone. I didn't hate it, obviously, but I also didn't fall in love with it as much as I was hoping, and that's okay. I still respect Callie Hart. I still love the story that she is told, and I'm in for the long haul. I'm already committed, and I will be reading that 3rd book once it comes out. So if you've read Brimstone, you got to share your thoughts with me. I hope this review video was helpful. Please let me know what you're currently reading. I would love to know. Chat with me in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I hope to catch you in another video. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, I will catch you on the flip side.